Welcome back, everyone, to Meditations by Gregory T. Obert, bringing you the best new guided meditations and mental health discussions every week. I'm your host, clinical psychologist, Dr. Gregory T. Obert. Thank you so much for joining me today. I have so many things to talk about today, and I am thrilled to finally pull the curtain back on my big project, which is, drumroll please, my new and shiny store on my private practice website. Yes, that's right. I have taken the time to build up a store that is hosting all of my exclusive content from locals. So if you are interested in getting some previously unreleased content, and really some of my best work, I think, then you definitely want to go check out that store right now. And for those who are not interested in the long backstory that I'll be telling in this episode, one additional incentive for you to go to the store: if you purchase all 5 of my locals meditations that are there right now, you will get one of them for free. So that discount is automatically applied at checkout as long as you put 4 paid in your cart. That 5th one that you put in, just before checkout, it'll say, no discount, but as soon as it takes you to the official checkout page, you'll get one of those for free. And that's a thank you to you for supporting me with this endeavor. Now, for those who are interested in the longer explanation of what all this is about, let's dive into it. So around February of 2024, I got the idea to try and monetize the podcast a little bit. Now, I've previously done this in the past where I have asked people to help in any way, shape, or form because, again, I do all of this for free. I do all of this on my own. And for those that have supported me in the past, thank you. Truly, thank you. The biggest way that I tried to promote to promote to people that they could help me is by purchasing a copy of my book. And if you are unaware of that book, it's called The Man on the Bench. And I released it way back in the far distant past of 2016, which is crazy to me that it's been so long and that we're coming up on 10 years, man. But it's a book that I was proud of nonetheless, and one that I thought would really kind of help sustain me, some of the projects that I wanted to do. And as is the case with anything released on Amazon, there's a initial little bump, and then it just kind of falls into the black hole that is self-publishing, which is there's a lot of books out there, and it is very difficult to get any kind of traction on sales after a certain point unless you're already well established / have a very devoted fan base and or you are paying for results, so you can pay to boost up your book in the search results. Well, after a while, it became apparent to me, and I hope this changes at some point, that promoting the book was not going to be enough. And unfortunately, it just wasn't bringing in the amount of money that I was hoping for. And, like I said, I hope that changes. If the book interests you, please do check it out. The links are in the description. There's the audiobook, the soft cover, the ebook, and I think I finally fixed the issue with the hardcover. I think that is available now, but maybe not. Maybe I need to go back and check that, but anyways, it became apparent that wasn't going to be enough. So I decided to throw my hat into the ring that is the monthly donations world. So for those of you that are familiar with sites like Patreon, you can ask people to sign up at however many dollars a month, and it's just a recurring monthly donation. They call them donations. It's really a payment to support whoever your favorite content creators are. Now, I have had issues with Patreon in the past, and so that's a story for another time. So I decided to open a locals community, which is a similar idea to Patreon. Except it seems like Locals was just a little bit friendlier to creators. And I did this again around February, March of 2024, something like that. And I was so thrilled to open that. I started to create premium content for it, including a whole mindfulness course that I was just really, really stoked to put together. Premium meditations, premium affirmations. And I was even starting to do some premium articles there, though I think the articles I put up initially, they were also on Twitter. But anyways, I was trying to just draw people in. And after some time of promoting this, it became apparent that nobody really wanted to show up for it. Now, my price was $10 a month. I thought that was totally reasonable for the content that I put out there, not just for the premium stuff, but also just the weekly stuff that I did for my podcast. Again, it's all free. I've been doing it for free for the last 9 years, and I'm happy to do it. And also, it takes time. I'm providing a service, and my time is valuable, and just as your time is valuable. And we don't typically want to put out things for free indefinitely. At some point, there needs to be an energy exchange. So I started, again, I kept promoting it, asking people to go over. And then at one point, I got the idea to maybe start gating some of the meditations behind paywalls. So for a minute there, if you remember this era, I had the first meditation of the month was free. And then any subsequent meditations that month, you'd get a preview of it. And then just as things started to kind of settle, I would put in a little, hey, you've been listening to this meditation. This one is one of the premium ones. Head on over to Locals to unlock the full thing. And so I thought that would be a great kind of balance. Well, that ultimately didn't really drive any traffic to Locals. I ended up getting really about the same amount of traffic, which was nice to see on the podcast, but I just didn't get that traffic over on Locals. So I just kind of stopped promoting it. I put a post up on Locals and I said, hey, I'm going to keep this up just for people to, sign up if they want to. But I kind of fell into some despair around it. I mean, despair might be a strong word, but I just didn't want to really do anything with it because it just wasn't working for me. And as I have been reflecting on this podcast's future and my career future, there's one thing that's really kind of stuck out to me. And that has been, I believe I've been undervaluing myself for many years. Most of the time, I'd say I want to do this podcast for free and I want to help people. I want people to feel better. And that's great. And I'm happy to do that. At the same point in time, when I'm not getting anything out of it, that's not an equal exchange of energy, right? And for those that don't know, I'm very much into Reiki, and I'm interested in metaphysical things. In fact, I just purchased the A Course in Miracles book that I am looking forward to diving into. And so when it comes to an exchange, I think that it should be equal. Otherwise, there's going to be some issues on both sides. It's not to say every exchange has to be equal all the time, but in general, that's what it I think is going to be best for everybody involved. So I was thinking about what to do with all of this content that I had. Like I mentioned, I had at least 5 Locals meditations that were behind the paywall. I had 3 affirmations recordings, and so those are 8-hour long affirmations that you can just kind of put on in the background and listen to and try to get some of those messages into your subconscious. And then, of course, I had my class, my mindfulness seminar, which was a 9-week course. I think it was 8 or 9, that, again, has so much great information in it, coming from somebody who has a ton of experience with mindfulness, and somebody who, honestly, I could charge so much for that course, because there's a lot of mindfulness courses out there, and many of them charge hundreds, even, in excess of $1,000. But I decided that I wanted to make it reasonably priced for people, because I wanted them to learn mindfulness skills, and of course offer some kind of value for them. There'd be other classes that I could put out there, and it would just be a really great kind of corner, I guess, of the internet to really offer a lot of value for not a ton of money. But that was, I think, the issue. Right? That's where the undervaluing came in, because when people see, and this is just human nature, when people see something that is very, very inexpensive, they assume that it is cheap. And that's not always fair, yet that's just human nature. I know if I see a product, for example, that is $50 versus a product that's $75, I'm going to automatically assume that the $75 product is probably a little bit better. And that's just how it is, right? So if somebody sees my locals at $10, but maybe there's somebody else selling an inferior product or even an equivalent product for, say, $100 a month, or they're charging $1,000 for the course. Well, people are then going to go, oh, well, this guy's only, it's $10, but what does he know? I mean, this person over here is charging $1,000, so they must know more about the topic. And I think that's what was going on, that there was a lot of me undervaluing myself in an effort to try and help people feel better. And I released, even to try and draw people in, on the podcast feed, I believe, and certainly on my YouTube channel, I released parts 1 and 2, I think, of the seminar, just so people could get a taste of what it was like. But the problem is that nobody came. Nobody showed up. So, like I said, I just got very frustrated with it, and as I've been doing my own personal spiritual growth, things, when you meet resistance somewhere, that's probably not the path that you need to go down. And so, like I said, I have completely and totally scrapped Locals. It is closed. It is gone. It has bitten the dust, and there is no trace of it on the Locals website. Now, that being said, I still, of course, have all of the things that I posted. And I was thinking about these recordings, thinking what I could do with them. And so I decided, one of the things that I can start to do on my own personal spiritual journey is to start valuing myself more. And I have done that in a variety of ways, and the one that's most relevant to anyone listening to this is going to be valuing my recordings more. There are entire apps out there with recordings, like the Calm app, Insight Timer, and people who post what I do on those apps, and they probably even get some fee for posting there. I don't know if it's a recurring royalty thing or not, but, I'm sure they get something. I have just been paying to post all this stuff, and that to me is not really fair. So, what I've decided to do is start putting some of my premium products up on a storefront. And while I do have my personal website, what I really want to do is drive more traffic to my private practice. And in case you didn't know this, or you're new here, I opened up my own private practice, Royal Oasis Psychotherapy Institute, which was live in July. And so if you are someone that's interested in premium psychotherapy, you've come to the right place. Go check it out. And so kind of the same thing, right? Like I would like to bring people over to the website, not only to get more eyes on my practice in the hopes of converting people who check it out to actual clients, but also, I want to provide some kind of benefit or service that is going to just bring people to the website, maybe check out the store, that kind of thing. And so I decided to spend some time creating a store, and it's fairly easy to do on the website. So I said, why not? Let's just start posting this stuff up there. And so I have taken all of the locals' meditations, and they are $9.99 each. And then the affirmations are $19.99 each. And I will eventually, this has to be a separate page, but I will eventually put up the mindfulness course that was on my locals page. And I think this is going to be a good move for me. And I hope that those listening understand my reasons why, and you be willing to support, what I do. Because if I have helped you in any way, shape, or form over the years, and again, I've been doing this for 9 years, if I've helped you in any way, I would really, truly appreciate your support back for me. There are a lot of changes going on in my personal life, and it would be nice to actually have some additional income coming in. And if you've gotten some kind of healing out of my meditations, if you just like listening to my voice, if you just use my voice as a sleep aid, whatever the case may be, if you found the new series that I was doing, the Therapy 101 series, useful, if you are interested in the dark psychology episode I posted a few weeks ago, useful and interesting, please consider purchasing a meditation or two, or maybe all of them. Like I said at the top, there's 5 currently in the store. There's 5 locals meditations in their original format, and if you get 4 of them, then the 5th one is free. So that really truly helps out a lot. If even 10 people, 50 people, right, even 100 people listening to this episode do that, wow, it's going to make a huge difference. And you get something out of it too. You get exclusive recordings that I have not previously released. The only one that I previously released in full was the color meditation, which I did last week, so you could kind of get a sense of what the meditations were behind the paywall. Now, the other thing that I am going to be putting out there is that mindfulness course. Now, I really busted my butt to try and record that during the time frame that I did. I tried to do it when I was on parental leave for a few months, and it was hard. It was really hard to do, to find the time and the energy to do it. But I did it. I did all of those modules, and as I have perused the internet looking for prices for such things, I'm easily finding mindfulness courses $300, $400. I think the most I saw was $700. So I will announce this in the future when the page is actually live. But keep this in mind, that when that mindfulness course does get put up on my website, I will be charging a premium price for it. And it's going to be, it's going to have a bit of a discount because there are some sound issues. I was recording on old equipment at the time, but there's still a lot of great information in there, and the sound issues are minimal. And so I will be re-recording that whole course at some point. And when I do put it up, it is going to be, it's going to be very valuable. It's going to have all the value in it that the original course did, and it's going to have better audio. So I'm going to raise the price for that when that does launch. So when the original course does go up for a limited time, I will let everybody know, and it will be discounted. So I do encourage you, and that's my sort of gift to people who listen to this, because you've been supporting me for however long, whether you're new here, you've been listening for 9 years. I appreciate you very much. And so, of course, I want to give back a little before prices increase, and so that will be my compromise. Now, I haven't settled on a price point yet, but I am thinking of launching that class at $4.99. So I think that's a fair price for what it is. But again, I haven't settled on anything. And when I do re-record the class, it is going to go up to probably $9.99 is what I'm thinking. $8.99 at the lowest. So when that course does go up, please do check it out if you've ever been interested in it.